morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I am here live in the same room with Eitan, which always makes for an amazing episode. And we're here to talk about guiding our purpose, really being in tune with the intrinsic reasons that each one of our souls came down to the world. This is a week where we're going to experience, if we're paying attention to it, enhanced understanding, a deeper sense of connection, not only in the big picture, which I think is something that a lot of us look through the lens of big picture when we talk about purpose. We're also going to see it in the small things. Why did I meet this person? How did I come to be in this place in my life? How can the circumstances that I'm in right now serve me? And today we're going to talk about how to pick up on those cues, how to make sure we're not blocking ourselves from gaining that insight and that understanding, and also how to live more on a daily basis, because it's not a lifetime of work. It really is a daily habit of living in your purpose and embracing the opportunities that you receive on a daily basis to live in your purpose. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most practical and powerful tools. We do that through sharing what's most profound and powerful for us from the teachings of Kabbalah, not only in our own living of those principles, but in the stories from the people that we know that work through this wisdom over the years. And every episode ends up offering timeless wisdom and tools that can help you any day of the week, any week of your life. And so as we now are in the month of Pisces, which again has its own unique opportunities, there isn't a coincidence that the weekly energies and the monthly energies coincide the way they do, really supporting us to rise up, to elevate to the next level of whatever our purpose is, and also to be able to embrace the unique ways that we express our light, express our gifts in the world. So that's our starting point for this week's episode, for the work of this week. Eitan, thank you for being here in person.
My pleasure to be here next to you, Elisheva.
I think it's easier. The flow is easier when we're in the same room, but that's awesome.
Absolutely. So purpose. I think the first step is let's speak a little bit about the myth behind purpose. I want to change the world. I want to be in a stage and talking to 1 million people. I would like to have a project that everybody knows about. What is my purpose? I'm still searching. I'm still bothered. I don't feel fully fulfilled in what I'm doing. So let's start with understanding one thing. If I'm starting my day with a clear intention, the Creator, today, please allow me to express my true desire to give, to add value, according to what I meant to do. The Zohar tells us, while we are operating in this physical world of the 1%, there is our true self, perfected self in the upper world. And forget about the ultimate purpose. The purpose of today is I want to be aligned. I want to be a mirror or a shadow of my perfected self. And the fact that you start with that intention, instead of searching with your head, maybe I need to do this big thing. The fact that you align to a true desire to give. And I like when Monica Berg said in the Spiritually Hungry retreat, she said, please, Creator, allow me to serve you according to my unique way today. And the fact that you have the intention and desire, you already tune into your purpose of being light today. I think that's what it starts. Instead of figure out, is it my purpose or not? Because at the end of the day, when I'm really aligned to my purpose, I'm connecting to a pure desire to add value according to what I meant to do today.
It's important to focus on what's in front of you right now. I think especially because people think of purpose as a profession, or even if it's not their profession, it's the cause that they fight for, or the the population that they serve. According to Kabbalah, our purpose is not outside of us. We may need a particular profession or platform on which to do the work to fulfill our purpose, but our purpose, according to Kabbalah, is within us. And I think it can be confusing because people seek their purpose outside of themselves. That doesn't mean that traveling won't help you find your purpose, or learning a new skill or a new talent or a new way to be in service won't lead you to it. But your unique purpose is connected to your transformation and the expression of the unique way that the light flows through you. So I think a lot of people miss that opportunity because they're looking in the bigger picture at my job in the world. How am I supposed to leave my mark on humanity? Which it's a very, obviously, a lot of the world is also very focused on how I can make a fortune and how I can make a name for myself. Wanting to influence humanity is obviously a higher intention and perspective. But Kabbalah takes it so far to say, wait a second, there's no one else on the planet but you. Imagine everybody else is well, I don't want to say wiped out, but they're not a part of the picture. You are still able to fulfill your purpose even when no one is looking. That's the starting point. So, and every day to be able to serve and allow my own unique spark to shine, that doesn't depend on anyone. It doesn't depend on a location. It doesn't depend on a skill or a profession. It is simply between you and the light of the Creator.
Beautiful. At the same time, we all would love to connect in a bigger picture to what we meant to do in this world, even in a bigger picture. But the answer is very simple, and that's something that I've learned from the Rav Berg. In order to attract and to align to my big picture purpose in this world, it's a process of purification. It's not just about, the psychic told me that's what I need to do, and from now on, I've learned. No, you need to purify yourself. And as you purify yourself, you're going to get the divine inspiration or the guidance or the circumstances that will attract what really make you fulfill and what really can allow you to add value in the biggest way. So how do you purify?
I was just going to say the word purify is probably
Exactly.
triggering
So
people.
what does it purify or cleanse? Or in Hebrew, it's interesting. In Hebrew, to purify, leizdachech. It comes from the word zach, which the root also is zchuchit, glass. Okay? A glass is fully allowing the rays of the light to go through without any filtering. Okay? So imagine that we have a thick vessel, and unfortunately, as a result, we don't let the clarity come through us. And what's causing our vessel, our glass, to be thick and not fully transparent? Ego, comparison, jealousy, not injecting my energy. How can I help today? Because every time I'm doing pure actions of giving today, I'm actually purifying and getting closer to the glass, to the purely material that allow the transparency of the wisdom that is here to go to me. And every time, instead of following my ego and comparing to other people and being jealous of other people, I'm actually overcoming myself and happy for other people. I'm purifying. Every time I'm accepting actually challenge as a gift, I'm purifying. I'm getting closer to the glass. And it's a process. It's a process. So in one end, I want to have the big picture goal to truly align what I meant to do and to be in this world. But the way to get it is not by overthinking. It's by every day, I'm your servant. How can I serve you in my unique way? That's my intention. And how can I add value? And grabbing opportunities, especially when people don't know about. Adding value and giving when you don't get validation from that. That for sure get you closer to your purpose.
It's such a beautiful visual also, because you can imagine that each one of us is capable of shining that light or allowing that light to shine in the world. Almost like, the sun is on the outside, we're the window, and our role is to brighten the building or the home. And to the degree that we're conscious of the real me, the pure me, completely, it's funny to say transparent, but really completely radiant, completely capable of shining that light. But it becomes hard to perceive or to feel that light when there's dirt or dust or, marks on the window. And that process of polishing or cleansing, that is the word. I just want to make sure that, because I know people have, from sharing these teachings, I know people have resistance to the word purity because it has like you're impure, something is wrong with you, you're damaged connotation. And Kabbalistically speaking, it's the opposite of that. It's more restoring you to your innate clarity, innate ability to shine. And I think about all the opportunities that come to us to do that work. They usually don't feel uplifting in the beginning. If somebody gives you an opportunity to do a thankless job, it doesn't feel like, this is my calling, I get to rise to the opportunity. But that's why that perception, if you can stand in one moment and have a decision in front of you and say, if no one else was here, if no one else could see or know about, if I wasn't afraid of what people are going to say or think, what decision would I make? It's the same idea that there is that divine link between me and the Creator. I have that spark that only I can reveal. And so feeling as though it's all up to me, or there's only I can reveal this light, helps to shift the perspective from what do people perceive about me? How is it going to look? How is it going to sound? What are people going to think? To how am I going to feel? I heard something really beautiful on another podcast today. It's not the most positive thing, but it was meant to be enlightening or inspiring, that nobody's getting out of here alive. So why are we so afraid what other people are doing or looking, or how people feel about who we are or what we want to do? That sense that my purpose is actually my responsibility to do what I came here to do. And how I think for all of us to take responsibility for the ways that we allow our perception of other people's perception to interfere with what's acceptable, what's meant to be, what it means for me to live in my purpose. And so even when you brought up, Eitan, the idea of comparison, right? We always say comparison is the thief of joy, but the fact that, you can look at yourself and measure your worth or your progress against anyone else's is also like a corruption of the process, because your progress has nothing to do with anyone else's progress. Your process, your purpose is relative to you and only you. If you're fulfilling it or not, it's not in contrast to other people who are fulfilling their purpose. And I also think that having that reminder in this month, when I feel like there's a lot of people born under the sign of Pisces, that they're lovely, they're wonderful, they're warm, they're kind, but they lack that sense of urgency, that only I can do it. That if I don't reveal my unique light, that unique light is going to be missing from the world. And that's a teaching that has inspired me and pushed me over the years to sort of leave the overthinking as a very good Pisces. I pride myself on being a very good Pisces. That overthinking and that, maybe someone else should do it, or why me, or what, to realize that it has nothing to do with anybody else, and imagining that it's only me and the light of the Creator, and I just need to tap into how I can shine my light right now. That's really living your purpose every day.
But when you say, Elisheva, you said that sometimes you would do things because people expect you to do.
For sure.
And actually not pausing for a second and saying, 1 second, is it actually, I would love to help, but I would love to help in a way I'm meant to help, and not just to say yes and to please everybody. And then I'm drained and I'm not sure why I'm drained. So being part of being purposeful partially is doing what I meant to do and not comparing to other people, but also not saying yes all day long, only because I'm pleased and I'm supposed to fit the expectation, what other people see and what expecting of me, see of me and expecting of me.
For sure. And I think that that's when I've read a lot of spiritual books over the years, taken many seminars, and the fact that, let's say, the tendency to do good, and we spoke about it in last week's episode, also that, sometimes it's easier to say yes than say no, just because of the perceived resistance that you might awaken by pushing back or passing on the opportunity. But the inspiring, I don't know if it's a teaching, but it's a movement in what you said just now, is that I actually reveal light, more of my unique light, by opposing my default response of absolutely, I would love to. That you would think, no, saying you specifically. That's what I'm saying. It's like the teachings of Kabbalah require us really to be honest and clear about what are my opportunities for growth. What do I need to let go of in order to be able to shine more of my light? What do I need to develop more of to be able to shine more of my light? And to know that that's why the comparison piece is it's so corrupting, is because the way I reveal my light is actually the opposite of what other people might need to be doing. And so to follow the leader or to go with follow the herd is sometimes counteractive to you fulfilling your unique purpose.
No, actually, over the weekend, I spoke to one of the members of my family, and actually, she's my daughter, actually, and she shared that she caught herself comparing to other people. They're already in their purpose, and then she realized, what's the comparison? Everyone has different process in their level of evolution, and she actually embraced her process right now. You cannot compare two journeys of two souls and thinking one is better than the other. What makes you better than you were yesterday? That's how you should look at this. Because some people, tikkun, everything seemed to be perfectly aligned at the beginning of their life, the first 30 years of their life, and then start long-term tough process of confusion. Other people, tikkun, the first 30 years is a tough process, and then there's a major breakthrough and alignment. Can you say what's better than the other? The only thing I need to do, what can I do today to get closer to my purpose? I can actually have a pure desire to give today. And actually, every time I'm stuck in comparison, I'm delaying the process of revelation of my true purpose. I am delaying. Because sometimes we think it's a motivation. I have to do this also. Not at all, because it doesn't come from the right place. And by resisting comparison and jealousy, there's also purpose to comparison of jealousy. It's part of the cleansing process. By resisting it and actually focus on revealing me and growing me and embracing my process, it also helps me to speed up the process of revealing my purpose.
So how can we use comparison and jealousy to push us forward and not block us?
Because, listen, there's two ways to get closer to my purpose, closer to God, closer to the Creator, closer to my soul. Either I get a spark of a thought, which this weekly portion in the Zohar speaks about divine inspiration, an idea beyond mind that without fear, I just following through. Let's do it. I have this calling, call that person. I have this idea, just have that conversations. Ask for help. So that's one way to speed the purpose. Don't be afraid when you have thoughts coming from left field, because it might be divine inspiration. The light is guiding you. So that's one way. Another way, when you have negative impulses like jealousy, comparisons, and then insecurities. And you catch yourself and you say, wow, I'm not going to go there. I'm excited that actually I'm not listening to the opponent. Because who created the opponent? The creator itself, to help us by overcoming it to get closer. So actually, by overcoming jealousy, without blaming myself, how can I be jealous? How can I compare? Actually, by recognizing it and saying, no, I'm not going to go there, it is allowing faster growth towards our purpose. So it's not just, oh, I'm not going to go in a negative. The fact that I'm overcoming those negative impulses is awakening the light of my soul and my unique spark and more in touch with my true self.
How can we use that same, I don't know, you want to call it space or same attitude to gain greater insight in how we can live in our purpose today? Meaning, I'm sure a lot of people that listen to the podcast are already living a life of service. There's different ways that we serve our communities, our families, our country. You can be in a profession of service, in a medical profession, in a healthcare. Obviously, everybody understands what I'm saying, but there's the majority of us, I think, don't fall into that category. And we're all things equal, right? Everybody needs to have their job. And, sometimes people wake up after 30 years or 40 years of being in one profession and want to switch to another. That may be part of the process too. But how do we bring that day-to-day feeling purposeful into the things in our life that are mundane or habitual, or, you have to go to the grocery store, you have to pay your taxes, how can that be part of our purpose?
Actually, living and being around the Ravberg and Karenberg for many years gave you the merit to see that if you are serving a purpose in a big way, but you're not serving a purpose in the mundane thing, you're not really aligned to your purpose. Because I remember those moments, how the interaction of energy between Karen, between the Ravberg and a simple worker or a waitress or anybody, and you feel that the Rav or Karen felt that I'm here in this restaurant to give energy to this lady that needs help, that actually supporting two kids. So you feel that they're looking at life, and that's where we need to do. Instead of calling it mundane, let's look at life. Now I'm called and I'm needed. My perfected self from above calling me, be in purpose now. You're in a restaurant. You're at work. You're speaking to someone in the street. You're facing a challenge. Pause and stop calling it mundane, calling it's a holy moment, this moment. So how do you transform mundane moments to holy moment? It's consciousness. Decide this one is a purposeful moment. Nobody look at me, yes, but your perfected soul, which is the guided angels. The main angel is our perfected soul looking at us all day long. So imagine our perfected soul, our true angel, looking at us right now. You do something not important, but actually right now, you can make it an important moment. If you look at this, how can I add value? How can I inject purpose? And that's actually, it's consciousness. It's through quality, you come to quantity. You need both, quality and quantity. But the quality of the mundane moments will attract the quantity of making a difference.
I'm just smiling because what you said reminded me of over the years, Michael Berg brought up over and over again, and also in giving lectures to people all over the world, people would ask, how do I find my purpose? And almost word for word, his answer was the same every time. If you want to know what your purpose is, look to the things that make you uncomfortable, that you don't want to do. And even in remembering that teaching, thinking about different people that I work with or that I've had conversations with over the last few weeks, needing to forgive someone, for example, right? Desiring to forgive somebody, but not being there yet. Because it's hard for a person to do that, it's an indication that it is part of their essential work in fulfilling their purpose. Or I had a conversation with somebody that she identified that her relationship needed some energy, let's call it, but she said, I don't want to. I don't feel like it, right? Like I have so many other amazing things I'm working on in my life. Do I have to? And the answer really is you don't have to, but that sense of not fulfilling your purpose will hang over you like a cloud, because part of your purpose is leaning into the things that stretch you, that challenge you, that put butterflies in your stomach or, make your heart flutter. Those things that we want to avoid doing are actually clues to what we're meant to do. And like you said, looking at the big picture and thinking, I need to deal with this, rather than waking up every day and saying, Creator, I'm here to serve. Help me. You know better what I'm capable of than anyone else. Put me in a position to use my potential. Being in that mindset of just for today. And that's something I hear Karen Berg's voice in my head over and over and over again. Karen would say, just for today, let me be a kinder person.
Exactly.
Just for today, let me be more mindful of my words. Not to try and build Rome in a day, but to take it pebble by pebble. Eventually, the results accumulate and you feel living more in your purpose. And also the external environment will serve you the feedback to help you to understand that you're more connected to your purpose.
Beautiful.
Anything else you want to share? We have a big class starting tomorrow night and getting deeper into all these things we're talking about every day.
So just the last thing I'll share, what I think it's a beautiful story, but it's our story. We know that Moses and Aaron were brothers. And before Moses was chosen by the Creator to be the leaders of the Israelites, Aaron was the leader. And then suddenly the Creator told Moses, you need to be the leader. And Moses said, but Aaron is the leader. He said, he will be fine. And when Aaron knew that the Creator chose Moses, right away, he was so happy that his brother meant to do that without a spark of an ego. And in this portion, it says about Aaron was chosen because of that to wear what we call the breastplate, which was around his heart, that's supposed to guide people and give people answers from above about all the questions that they're asking. Divinely inspired answer. And it says, why Aaron was the channel for that, and it was around his heart, because his heart was so pure when was the moment that he need to let go of leadership and give it to someone that more belong, miracles happen to him. Then you're attracting closer your purpose. Anytime you overcome jealousy and comparison, actually you attract what belongs to you. Every time you're upset about they have and I don't have, you push away what belongs to you.
It's a powerful lesson because people share so much of their lives now on social media compared to like 20 years ago. You didn't know what the people you went to high school with were doing until you went to your high school reunion. Now you see exactly what they're doing, what their underwear brand is and everything. So I feel like it's so important to have that reminder that, especially if you know that you have that tendency to feel less than or to be intimidated by other people's successes or wins, or if you know yourself and you can fall to that, what steps do you take to prevent yourself from going there? I think is also part of this week, really understanding that if I'm going to live more fully in my purpose, I want to protect myself from the situations and the scenarios that cause me to feel less than or incapable or not there yet. So I feel like this is a great week for all of us. I mean, it may seem like a daunting job for the week, but at the same time, what's the alternative? A lot of people say, all the spiritual teachings, it feels like a lot of responsibility. What's the alternative? The alternative is going through life kind of aimlessly shooting and hoping for the best rather than understanding the target and moving towards it bit by bit every day. Anything else you want to share with everybody before we go? All right, well, we want to make sure that you guys, if you missed last week's episode and you didn't get to hear Eitan speak about the Limitless course that starts Tuesday, March 4th, you have the opportunity to do that. The links are on weeklyenergyboost.com as well as in the show notes, whether you're listening on a podcast or online. Click the link, read about it. It's a groundbreaking course. We've never taught this level of depth or breadth in a beginner's course, and it's very exciting for us to be able to offer that to our listeners. So you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to find out more about that as well. We're on all podcast platforms, and we have a website, weeklyenergyboost.com, where you can read about the Limitless course, find out more about all the things we talk about every week, search our archives, and click the donate button to help make Weekly Energy Boost possible. But as always, please share this episode. The more people you share this with, the more living in purpose the world will be. And that's really the goal of it all. So thanks for being here with us, and we'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.
Amazing.